What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic and excellent spirits here on another live stream Wednesday. The date, March 4th. March is here, 4 days in. And it feels good because now we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We could get a sense that, count them, 16 days, 2 weeks from this Friday, we got 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I got my math all screwed up. From this Friday, it's officially spring. Now, I understand it doesn't mean it's going to be 75 and sunny every day. But one thing we do know is that warmer days are coming. And even better yet, longer days are coming, because don't forget, come Saturday, turn those clocks up, as we will have daylight savings time in full effect this coming Sunday. So when you look out the window, and it's about, 6:30. You're thinking, hey, that's right, it's still light out. Let us all rejoice as those days are coming. And with that being said, what's coming is the latest live stream. Obviously, a lot to get into. I understand we're still going through that little bit of a lull, that sports dead zone, as I like to call it. Part one. The second part, we won't have to worry about until we get to the middle of July and right up until college football and the NFL. But I'm not starting with the NFL. I get it. You got a lot of cuts. You got a lot of transactions that are going on with the Shield in light of the new season, quote unquote, which will be a week from today. And I'm going to have to lead with that. I don't want to lead with the NFL on a March afternoon, and hopefully something could supersede that. But with all that's going to take place, and off the top of my head, I can't even tell you where the free agency, like who's going where as far as what quarterback, whether your name is Kirk Cousins or Malik Willis or any other big-time player that's going to be out there for the taking for a team to bolster their chances to try to get whether into the playoffs or make a deep run in the playoffs or maybe a piece or two away from getting to a Super Bowl. I'll get to that in a little bit, but I'm going to start off. Before I even start off, share your thoughts in the chat room, of course. They're there. Comments are already starting to accumulate, so please don't be shy. Whatever it is that's on your mind, agree, disagree, debate. That's what this live stream is all about, so definitely take advantage of that. And for those who aren't going to be live, who are watching this on a replay, still leave a comment. I'll follow up with you guys and gals shortly, so definitely do that. But as far as the first topic of discussion, yes, I got to start off with baseball. We are now 3 weeks away from the baseball season. That I know for sure, as I got my math together. 3 weeks from today, out in Oracle Park, Yankees at Giants, Netflix. I know, Netflix. But the World Baseball Classic will commence tomorrow, and I'm sure you've seen some exhibitions. I believe Japan lost a couple days ago, which was a bit of a surprise. Japan is the defending champ coming into this World Baseball Classic. And for the teams that are out there, and we all know the USA team led by Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Alex Bregman, a lot of the big veterans there, and even some young players, including Nolan McLean. The guy had, 9 or 10 starts last year, and he's already a part of the rotation when it comes to the USA baseball team, as he's actually going into his rookie year. Looking to knock over the camera here. But when we take a look at the Classic, is there any interest? Is anybody looking forward to this? Is anybody ramped up, geeked up, whatever it may be, to watch some baseball, where I understand it's still an exhibition? I get it that they don't count to any particular standings in the grand scheme of things, but I'm kind of curious because in light of what we saw just 10 days ago out in Milan for the Olympic hockey team, and with USA winning, and not to say there's going to be any carryover. Again, that's the Olympics. That is the creme de la creme. And I guess you could say the same thing for baseball with the USA team. These are the best USA baseball players that are on a roster. And you could argue whether or not there are a couple of players that probably should be on that haven't joined. And I don't know what the process is in reference to that. But when we look at the tournament overall, is anybody intrigued? I mean, that's the bottom line. As far as me, yours truly, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to watch every pitch or every game or get that excited over this tournament, which is now in its, think about it, 20th year. This goes back to 2006 in its inaugural classic where the Japanese team won. And I believe 3 years later in 2009, they won as well. Then in 2013, that's when the Dominican team won. And then 4 years later, that's when U.S. finally were able to be crowned the Baseball Classic champions. And then because of COVID, you didn't have it in 2021, but you did have it in 2023. And everybody knows the Shohei Ohtani strikeout of Mike Judge there in the, I believe it was bottom of the ninth, which secured a 3-2 victory for Japan to become a 3-time Baseball Classic winner. So now that I gave you a little bit of a history lesson, and listen, this is from somebody that hasn't followed every pitch or watched every game. And yes, I can think of highlights here and there over the years. The tag by Javi Baez, the blind tag on Nelson Cruz trying to steal second base when the Puerto Ricans were playing against the Dominican Republic. And then the flip side of that, how could I ever forget Edwin Diaz after Puerto Rico beats the Dominican Republic, jumping up and down on the mound to where he blew out his knee and was out for the 2023 year. Oh, God. And this was after a 2022 season, which was one of the best that he's ever had and one of the best that we've seen a closer perform as far as a Major League Baseball reliever goes. So you have some of those, and the Big Papi, the home run where he had the bat flip and just pimped out the home run. That was in 2006, I believe. But yeah, we could talk about all these different moments and the robbing of the home run there. I believe that was Adam Jones on his teammate Manny Machado, his former teammate, now that I think about it, because that was in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, when that thievery happened. But here I am breaking down all these baseball classic moments, and you would think that I've been at the edge of my seat or turned on the TV when these games were being played, but I guess they're just embedded in the brain, even though I haven't really 100% focused on these games. And I'm going to say, because I'm not going to say I have a rooting interest, because am I going to go crazy if the USA team loses? No. I wasn't upset when Mike Trout struck out against Shohei Ohtani. And that doesn't make me unpatriotic. I'm sure some people, oh, Jay Rios, how could you? Blah, blah, blah. You're a phony. No, I mean, it's a World Baseball Classic. Maybe Team USA with the soccer World Cup. Not that I expect them to go far, and not that I could name off the entire roster, but the bottom line is this. I don't really have an attachment because it's not a set team. Yes, we know who the players are, and I could go through the roster if you wish, but at the same time, if they win, all right, great. But if they lose or don't make it to a final or somehow, some way get bounced before a quarterfinal, am I going to lose sleep? I'm not. And I'm sure you guys and gals won't either. Again, the investment has nothing to do with the flag, has nothing to do with representing the country. It's a thing where if the team falters and does not win a World Baseball Classic, I'm not going to be up in arms. Now, if there's some controversy involved, which we know there won't because of replay, and that you don't really even have to worry about. But I'm going to sit here and say that, again, if the USA team doesn't win, I am not going to shed a tear if that's the case or be outraged. So if that means Japan wins or Dominican Republic wins or Venezuela, now the Israels and the Italys, I mean, they got no shot. But when we take a big picture look here, and I'm going to get to the second question here when it comes to the Baseball Classic in a second. And I'll get your comments, of course. When I look at how these teams are structured, and I don't know every single player on every roster. Now, we know the Dominican Republic, their lineup is loaded. Pitching, Luis Severino, Sandy Alcantara, Brian Bayo, the Red Sox, good staff, but it's not like they have a killer staff. Now, the lineup, forget about it. I mean, it's murderer's row and then some. With Juan Soto, with Manny Machado, with Julio Rodriguez. I mean, please. It is just a killer lineup to get through. But they only won one championship, if you want to call it. That was, 13 years ago. And I'm sure they'll be one of the favorites. Japan, listen, they've won 3 of these, and now they're the defending champ. Would I be shocked if they're not there in the semifinals, even in the finals down in Miami? Of course not. And then the USA team has to be considered. Now, I don't know about dark horses. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe Venezuela to a certain extent. I don't know. We know Venezuela, they always have great players coming out of that country. If there's a dark horse, maybe Puerto Rico. I know Francisco Lindor's not on the team because obviously he's recovering from the surgery on the hamate bone on his wrist. But all I'm going to do is just sit back, watch it, see how it unfolds. And then once we get to later next week, when we get to the nitty gritty, before we get to the semifinals and finals, which I know the final is on St. Patty's Day, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. And the semifinals, I believe, are Sunday, which would be Selection Sunday. And that's actually pretty good because I know you may have a smattering of college basketball games that day, but all the big-time tournaments will be done and go through the process. And I don't know what the starting times are for those games. I'm sure it's probably going to be, if I had to guess, maybe 1 and 7, because I don't know if it's 2 separate tickets, but I would think they can have it back-to-back where it's 4 and 7 because there's only, 2 locker rooms. So I would think the first game, 1 o'clock, get everybody cleared, next team comes in, and away we go. I think that's how it's going to be played out, but listen, I have a little bit of intrigue, but again, if I'm going to miss a game here or there, am I going to be, I can't believe I missed it? No. But I'll keep you guys abreast, and hey, this game I got to watch, or I'm intrigued by this. So we'll see how this goes. But now the bigger question is this. Can the WBC catch any of that lightning in a bottle for what we saw with the USA hockey team? So this Olympic magic. Now, this is a stretch, people, because the USA hockey, everybody's going to think back to 1980, the Miracle on Ice. We all know what transpired there up at Lake Placid in the winter of 1980. But as far as the Winter Baseball Classic, because it's been 20 years. You've had 5 of these tournaments? 3 Japan. Have you had 5 of these? And this is the 6th one. Is it still a novelty? Maybe to a certain degree, but we know it's been around the block here a few times. And I don't know if there's anybody else out there, even if you're a ginormous baseball fan or a kook of a sports fan, are you really thinking not only just about the World Baseball Classic off the rip, but are you thinking that, wait, can the USA have a similar run to get to a final, maybe win it, to where the sports fan's going to rally around this? I think it's a bit of a stretch because unless they were an underdog and a big-time underdog, then maybe. But we know the USA, they're one of the top 2-3 teams here in the tournament. Now, I don't know, as a betting man, who are the favorites as far as, is it Japan? Are they 2-1 favorites? And then it's US 5-1, followed by Dominican Republic 7-1, or who knows? Maybe Dominican Republic and US are dead even, for all I know. Listen, maybe now's the time to even take a look as to see who would be the favorites here, WBC. Because we know Japan, they are always going to be in the mix. Oh, look at that. Actually, US, the odds-on favorite. So they're minus 110. So if you bet $100, that's not good. But then you have Japan is plus 350. So that's 350 to 1. So if you bet $10, do the math, you'll make out pretty big. And Dominican Republic is 4-1. So after that, you have Venezuela, which I thought, and then Puerto Rico 2,000, Mexico 2,200. So unless the U.S. was a big underdog going into this thing, and therefore they're starting to gain momentum and they're upsetting people on the way, then I can see it being a thing where, I got to watch. Let me see if the U.S. can pull off some magic. But because they're a heavy favorite here, they're minus 110. The next team is 350 at plus 350. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to have anything close to that. And think about it. The U.S. and Canada in the Olympics, they were pretty much dead even too going into that tournament. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to capture the imagination or capture even the casual sports fan. That's a big NFL fan, basketball, whatever. I don't think you're going to see that because everybody knows that the USA team is stacked. So how this will play out, we're going to have to wait and see. And I'm sure once you get past those opening games where, and I know the U.S., they have what is their bracket? I mean, it's pretty much a layup. U.S. Their group is, no, not World Cup, WBC. They have, yeah, we know about the rotation. They're in Pool B in Houston. Can I get the teams, people? All I wanted the teams. It's not giving me the teams. But anyway, we know that their group is pretty much a cakewalk. I think there's one team that is in the mix that could be, I don't want to say a threat, but maybe could push the USA team. But besides that, I can't see this just being over the moon for everybody. The good sports fan, great sports fan, somewhere in the middle, or even a casual sports fan to be like, oh, I got to watch the Winter Baseball Classic or the World Baseball Classic. And then on top of that, oh, USA is going to have me riveted the way the USA hockey team, especially when you get to a final. Cheers, H2O, just plain old, good old-fashioned water. So that's what I have there with the Baseball Classic. I'm curious to see your comments on this as we move it along here. But yeah, I the only way I would see the Olympic magic if the team USA was a big-time underdog. Or who knows if they're going to play against Japan again or maybe the Dominican Republic. I know that's going to draw a lot. Certainly here in New York, as you have a big faction of Dominican natives that are here. So I know they're going to be running rampant, and you know that they're going to be at the edge of their seat watching this unfold because you know their fans, the people from that country, just like a lot of the countries in Latin America, they eat, drink, sleep, breathe baseball. So they hang on every pitch, and this to them, this is their Olympic matchup. So listen, I'm curious. I'm not super over the moon on it, but it gives us something to watch. These are the best baseball players in the world. So starts tomorrow, and I couldn't even tell you which games are being aired, so that's how much I care. But as the days wear on, as we get into next week, whatever, let's see how this will unfold, and I'll surely be on top of it. All right. Comments. Bio. My man. Is that right? They're making a big trade now. Of course, Trent McDuffie, the defensive back. What are they giving up? They're probably giving up at least maybe a 2. I would say as high as a 2. I don't think a number 1. Wow, this is similar to when I think back to the in-season trade that they made for Jalen Ramsey. That is a huge trade. He is very good. That's right. Super Bowls in SoFi. Let's go. Absolutely. Fuqua, a.k.a. Minnesota Fats, a.k.a. Rhoda Penmark, a.k.a. Dad Ships, Cowboy Bull, Tatsuya Imai, etc., etc. Buona Beast in the house. Nah, no baseball classic for you. All right, I'll get back to you in a second there, Buona Beast. So, Fuqua, interesting you bring this up because I was posed this question about an hour or so before the live stream. How can I put this? To me, it's not a no-brainer. He has ability. He's a guy that is still unproven. I would say yes, but at what cost? He's not, I'm sorry, I am not paying this man $40 million a year. As it is, he's probably going to get anywhere between $30 to $40 million, maybe 35. When you think of guys like Geno Smith or Justin Fields, he signed that 2-year deal with the Jets for $40 million. And I believe, listen, he's worth a little bit more than that, but I can't break the bank on a guy that I still don't know what I'm getting. And I understand he showed some very good flashes there with the Packers last year. And mind you, as an offensive-minded coach, and I get it that the Steelers have Mike McCarthy as their coach, but 3 years, $100 million? How many of that guaranteed? That's the most I'm going to pay for him. And even that is a bit of a stretch because he could run, he could throw. Again, he has ability. I'm not doubting that whatsoever. But is he the guy? Now, I understand. Do you sign Willis or do you go after someone like Kirk Cousins? Now, if you're going to ask me, I'd want Willis. And Cousins, he's going to not ask for the sun, moon, and stars. He got that in Atlanta, but he's going to be probably worth around that much. He's not getting the 4 years, $180 million that he got and $100 million guaranteed. Oh, goodness. He's definitely not going to get that. But he's probably going to get, I'd say, 300-400. And, right, you could say, well, if you're going to give Cousins that, give that to Willis. Yeah, I agree, because I'm not giving Cousins a red cent more than that. But, and it's the market too. You got to understand that. And listen, I'm not looking to sign this guy for 4 years at $75 million. I know. I mean, there's no way. The market for a quarterback, a starting quarterback, is very high. Obviously, he's not in the Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. He's not in that stratosphere. And he's not even in that second rung of quarterback, which would be the aforementioned Geno Smith, even Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I believe he signed his contract. I think it was 3 for, I want to say 110, somewhere around that. So, and this guy just won a Super Bowl. So if they're going to sign him for that kind of money, all right, fine. Not giving him more than 3 years. Maybe 2 years and an opt-out. But, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate the question there, Fuqua. That was a good one. Yeah, I know. I mean, I get it. And listen, I am not, you know me, I'm a baseball lover at heart. I am not a shill for the WBC, but yeah, but I feel you. And Buana feels the same way. Buana, welcome back. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And he also writes, hockey players feel like they give their heart and soul. Yeah. Now, you know what's interesting? I will say this. I think for the fans and the players too, because of course the players that are representing their countries, they want to win. I mean, they're not there just to be like, all right, you know. No, of course they want to win. But for the fans, and I don't even know if the USA fan is close to having the passion, the fervor, the energy that the fans of the Dominican Republic, the fans of Cuba, can't forget them, Puerto Rico, etc., because they literally hang on every pitch. Guy gets a base hit, they're jumping up and down going crazy. Hit a home run, forget about it. Obviously, all the players come out of the dugout. Everybody's doing the dances, the high fives, styling, whatever. I get it that that's the nature of the Latino to be so flamboyant and out there and whatever, and to have that style. 100%. And by any means, that's not knocking a USA fan, because that's not to say they're not as passionate or whatever, but go back. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. If you watch that Puerto Rico-Dominican game, you would have thought that's Game 7 of the World Series. And we all know it is an exhibition. So that's what I mean. They take it a lot more seriously, the fans, than the American fan, as evidenced by what Fuqua just put out there. Or even Buana. Nah. Nobody cares. And that's why I brought up the question, will the baseball team have anything close to a semblance of what we witnessed just 10 days ago with the USA hockey team? And right, I'm going to say no. Only if US was a big underdog, as I mentioned. So, well, you're right about that. The hockey players to me, now listen, I'm not talking rugby because you would have to probably put them at number one. But to me, the toughest players on the planet are a hockey player. And right, people go, oh, what about NFL players, whatever? No, they're tough too. But Jack Hughes took a stick where he chipped, 2 of his teeth, and he scored the game-winning goal. And there are countless stories of hockey players, whether going to get stitched, coming out, they got stitches over their eye, they wear a whole protective mask shield. Players on, and listen, I get the NFL player, Emmitt Smith, the separated shoulder. There's many of them. I get it. But the hockey player, they can get teeth knocked out. and stitched up. Doesn't matter. They're out there battling. Bio, UCLA smashed Nebraska last night. Yes. And Nebraska's had a very good year. In fact, Nebraska, to me, is almost equivalent to what we've seen with Indiana. I talked about that a while ago on the podcast because Indiana, as we all know, basketball school. And here it was, the football team winning a national championship. Where now, Nebraska being the football school they are, does the basketball team have any chance, shot? Now, listen, they're going to make the tournament, but at the same time, Nebraska, that is. And UCLA, we all know, the Wizard of Westwood. That's a basketball school big time. And that's good. Good for you guys. 3 top 10 teams in one season. So wait, the other two were... You guys beat Arizona? I know Bio probably, he'll come up with that quick. So I'm trying to think of the other two games. We know about the Michigan State games. Yeah, it's eluding me right now. Jeez, I should know that. And based on that alone, no matter what their record is, UCLA, they're going to make the tournament. Because if you're going to beat 3 top 10 seasons, that's, those teams are quad 1. So, yeah, definitely. That's great to think that 3 top 10s in one season. That is excellent. Val in the house. Sorry you're late. Nah, it's all good, Val. You are with us right now, right here. Can't root for a team that has Alex Bray. So definitely not rooting for them. That's fine. Absolutely. We'll be interested to see what the Rams pay. Yeah, is McDuffie Bio, is he on a, let's look that up. Because his contract, he could be going into a final year. Per reports. Going on my kooks for filling us in, especially Bio. Acquisition can't be made, of course, 11 a.m., 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Revamping their cornerback room. All right. Paid a hefty price. They're trading 4 draft. All right. Yeah, but my thing is that, yeah, what are they trading them? Yeah, next up is likely to work out a multi-year contract extension with McDuffie, which he's probably going to get, 4 years at 100 some odd million and about 80 of that guaranteed. He's going to be the highest paid corner. Yeah, I'm not seeing what they traded for. Oh, here it is. Wow. They traded a first, a fifth, a sixth, and a 2027 third. Well, their pick understood. 5th round, 6th round. Those are late picks, but sometimes you get gems there. 2027 third. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, and they traded their first pick. I'm surprised. Listen, McDuffie's good. In fact, let me see how good. I'm not going to trade McDuffie. He can play on my team without a doubt. But here we go. This is what I need to know. First team All-Pro 3 years ago. Second team All-Pro 2 years ago. Listen, I'd like it if he was All-Pro 3 straight years. First team. Wasn't last year. Obviously, the Chiefs had a down year. Understand 2-time champion, but yeah, that's a lot. They gave up a lot, I thought. I would have been like, I'll give you a 2. This year's 2. And listen, we know the Rams are going to wheel and deal like they did that year. And they recovered nicely because everybody thought they were going to be in cap hell after winning that Super Bowl in 2021. And yeah, they had a bit of a lull, nothing major, but they were able to draft some very key pieces there on that defense, the Jared Youngs of the world, Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, guys like that. And they needed help in that secondary. So Quentin Lake and who's the other kid that made the interception there in the overtime against the Bears. His name's eluding me right now. Number 3, I believe, is number. Is it Emmanuel? Oh, yeah. I know Bio will come up with it. I know I'm not in NFL mode right now, but yeah, they paid a hefty premium, that's for sure. Let's see. What do we have? Wishing happy birthday. Oh, Sergio Romo, yes. Righty reliever. There it is, Val. Keeping us up to date here. Fuqua. Mark Viento was born in Connecticut. Yep. Mother born in Nicaragua. Father born in Dominican Republic. Is Mark a traitor for playing for Nicaragua? I was introduced at U.S. of nowhere. Yeah, that's tricky, though, Fuqua, because think about it. Remember when A-Rod, didn't he play for the Dominican team once? And he was born in Miami, wasn't he? And I think that was what? Wasn't that in 2013? No, maybe it was before that. Maybe 2009, I think he played for the Dominican team. I think it was 09. No, he was hurt that year because he had hip surgery. Yeah, listen, I just found out whatchamacallit was on a different team, and I was surprised to see him on. Jeez, I can't think of his name. Nah, it happens. Listen, players want to do that. They have every right to do that. Who am I to say? Now, right, if you're born here, you would think that he's going to play for the country that you're born in. Now, I understand if your background is what it is, and he's playing for Nicaragua, maybe to give Nicaragua some pub. I don't know, because we don't expect a lot from Nicaragua. But I hear you. That's legitimate, Fuqua. I agree. Without a question. Buana, how do they try to get young kids into the Classic without an early love? How do they get young kids? Well, you got a couple. I mean, listen, Skeens is on the roster. You have Nolan McLean's on the roster. I mean, you do have some guys, and that's just pitching. Excuse me, I don't have their entire roster. Let me see. I'll look them up right now. WBC USA roster. Yeah, I know Harper's on it. Of course, Judge is the captain. Gabe Spire. Mason Miller. Yeah, we know Bregman's a veteran. Goldschmidt. Bobby Witt. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Roman Anthony. He's a young, how I look at it, Buana is, and I'll go back. Let me see. When did you post that? 12/14. So that was 19 minutes ago. I got to catch up on these comments, and I will. But when you say young kids, are you talking about the younger players in Major League Baseball getting on? Curious. DRPR should have some juice. Zip. Long time no see. Good to have you on board. And, of course, Japan, all the Ohtani praise. Yes. Yeah, listen, those countries, they're going to represent big time. And, yeah, PR, obviously, they're, 20-1. So, just winning the whole thing. Buana, Will is showing the Liberty potential, yes. But I don't see him getting a payday, 2-year deal, franchise tag if he must, but it's going to be hard. I know, but the going rate in the market for quarterbacks, and you know how some of these guys are. They I don't know about the Steelers. They're going to look at that. Remember Matt Flynn, who was on the Packers, I think in 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe after that. No, maybe it was 2012. He was the backup, and then he went to Seattle, and they signed him for big money. I forgot what it was. Maybe 3 years or 4 years, whatever it was. And he did nothing in Seattle. Listen, I hope that they would pay him in that regard and not just break the bank and think that, oh, this is the answer. I mean, geez, definitely not the case. He is not top 2/3 right now. Well, listen, if Willis, who I think is an upgrade, And despite the fact that the market is what the market is, but I don't think you could just push all your chips to the middle of the table and think like, oh, he's your guy. It's like what the Jets did with Justin Fields. And I'm not trying to compare Justin Fields to Malik Willis, although you could probably say if you're going to start a team now, you pick Willis over Fields. But the Jets signed him to a 2-year deal worth $40 million. I mean, they knew going in that, all right, he has 1 year to prove himself, and we know what happened there. So he's a free agent right now. Whoever's going to take him, good luck. But that's why it's a little buyer beware with Willis, despite the fact that he does have a lot of potential. Vic, welcome. I hope you're still around. I know these comments were what now? That was about 12 minutes ago, so that's not too bad. Morning to you, my man. I'm going to Vegas next week, putting some money on France to win the World Cup. Any long shots I can put money on? Keep picking that. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you, Victor. Thank you. Any long shots you want to put money on? How about U.S.? To me, they'd have to be a long shot. And because they're playing here, now we're talking about all this with the U.S. Olympic hockey team and with the World Baseball Classic. If the USA soccer team gets to a quarterfinal, you're going to have buzz. Because A, it's in North America. B, when was the last time in a quarterfinal? I mean, I don't even know if I think they went to a quarterfinal once. Was that in 2002? Let's look that up. Because I don't know. World Cup quarterfinal. I don't know if they've gotten that far. They may have gotten that far once. Yep, it said right on the head. And I don't know why I thought 2002, but yeah. They beat Mexico 2-0, and then they lost to Germany in the quarterfinals. Noted for a controversial non-penalty call. A handball. The hand of God, the old Diego Maradona back in 86, of course. So look at that. And then they also, they had no quarterfinal in 1930. But yeah, 2002, I remember they had that run. And on that team, that was what? Tony Miola, that was, 2002. Yeah, I got to think about the players that are on that team. Alexi Pappas. He's a goalie, though. No, I think he played later on. Miola, I think, was on that 2002 team. But Landon Donovan. Yes, I remember the run now with Donovan. Yeah, I recall. So they got to a quarterfinal. Yeah, I think this place will go nuts. Because if you remember in 94, when the women's, that World Cup, because that happened, I believe it was on the same weekend. If you've ever watched that documentary, that ESPN 30 for 30, June 17th, 1994, I believe that was the same time frame where you had the OJ, the Bronco on the freeway in LA, which Bio, I'm sure, remembers that very well. You had Arnold Palmer, his last U.S. Open. Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 30th home run that weekend. The Rangers, they celebrated their long-awaited Stanley Cup victory, 54 years, with a parade that Friday. I remember that well. And I remember where I was that June 17th. That happens to be my mother's birthday, number one. Shout out to my mom. But number two, I remember that parade that Friday, and I remember that was Game 5 of the NBA Finals, which they also piped in. Rockets-Knicks, where the Knicks won that Game 5. And, yeah, the city, that spring into summer, I remember vividly because that was Knicks and Rangers, the run to their respective finals. And, of course, the Knicks lost in 7, as you know. But interesting. All right, let me move along with the comments. But, yeah, Vic, I would say U.S. Why not? I don't know what their odds are, but I'm sure they're pretty low. Of course, they want to win. I just think the fans. See, I agree with it. Yeah. No, absolutely, Buana, 100%. Totally agree. Jay, take it. Page out is live from Citi Field. You know what's crazy? The Mets open up 3 weeks from tomorrow on a Thursday. And Thursday, of course, I do the podcast. Now, unless I do it, record it the night before, I could do that. The crazy thing is that the week after, the Yankees open up their home schedule. Their opening day is against the Marlins, which that's going to be, has 11-2 written all over it. But that's on a Friday. So I actually may go out to Yankee Stadium prior to that opening day, similar to what I did last year for the Mets opening day. Because remember, they opened up the home schedule against the Blue Jays on a Friday. So, yeah, I know. Rugby, those are, tough SOBs for real. That's why I couldn't discount those guys. I mean, that is rough. They are no joke. And Bio, of course, is always on top of it. Uh-oh. Oh, I know it. Something fell over there. Oh, it's all right, kids. That's my dog barking in the background. It's okay, kids. But something, where did it fall over? All right. Yeah, I had a bag. She listened to it. She's on it. Good girl, kids. It's okay. Rams still keeping that 13. Oh, all right. That's good. So, Bio, listen, obviously you get McDuffie back. You're going to have to pay him a fortune, but I'm sure you love the trade. San Jose playing well there, Val. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, Vic's still in the house. Let's go Sharks as I'm catching up here. Spot trackers where I go for a contract. Ah, that's good. Yes, Juana. Thank you. I will do that. Fishing Angel. Greetings. Dodgers playing Mexico team today. Ah, nice. Is that on TV anywhere? Because I know the Dominicans had an exhibition. I don't know who they played against, but yes, Macklin Celebrini. In fact, I'm going to talk about the NHL in a little bit once I get to I got a few topics to talk about. But, yeah, all this talk about tanking in the NBA, how about tanking in the NHL? And remember, they also have a draft lottery too. Keep that in mind. Let that marinate when I get to it. And to catch the issue, yes. Those are the yeah, agreed, Buana. Not 100, 1,000%. Yes, Fishing Angel, Val showing love. Snow's finally gone. Yeah, a lot of the snow's gone here. Although yesterday, if you watched my live while I was driving in one of the parking lots I was at, yeah, there's still mounds of snow that they've shoveled, or I should say they've plowed. And today it's in the mid 40s, and it's going to get into the 60s by the weekend. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, but there's still some snow out there, at least here in the Northeast. I felt the games I watched last year, I would not be afraid to attack them. Again, he had very little help. Yeah, McDuffie's very good, and that's what I'm sure you're referring to. Yeah, no, I like him. I think he's a very good corner. He's physical. He doesn't have like a lot of the key numbers. I mean, I think he only has a handful of career interceptions. And mind you, he's he's been in the league 5 years. So, but no. Thank you. Biocam Curl. That's the guy I was thinking about. Probably not be back, yes. I know that, and they re-signed Quentin Lake, I saw. So, yeah. I could see they're going to end up letting him go. Yes, Val. Mom's birthday's today. All right. Val, happy birthday to your mom. Good to hear. Wishing her many, many more. Sunny here in California where I live, yes. Fishing Angel showing love. I love it. Draymond Green. Oh, is that right? His birthday's today? I know you're hit and miss with him, with Draymond, of course. All right, Buana, but I feel like a family member has to get young kids. Oh, you're talking about real young. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, baseball. Buana, I know you're just recently new to us. My dream as a boy, as I wanted to be center fielder for the New York Mets. Baseball is my first love. Always loved playing baseball. Played baseball in high school, but of course, was a lazy student. Didn't do the right thing. I don't need to go down that road. But when I say didn't do the right thing, I didn't do anything illegal. But it was one of those things where back then I did it I love playing baseball. And even today, people say, hey, we're going to have a softball game. I understand it's not baseball, but I'm in. Now, these kids, I know, and I just don't understand how it's so much structured now than it was back then. And just so you know, Buana, I'm 56. You play baseball because you loved it and you loved watching it. And even in high school, I played in Florida on travel teams. And Yeah, there was some scouts there, whatever, but obviously nothing happened as far as I'm concerned. Where today, there are baseball academies, there are baseball coaches, clinics, all types of workout facilities. I mean, never had that. And of course, back then, nobody even thought about Tommy John, despite the fact that Tommy John was a pitcher from the 70s and 80s, had a long career. But with the epidemic of these Tommy John injuries, especially for those who are pitchers, and yeah, like every move is calculated and every move is just scrutinized. And yeah, I guess you got to be 10 years old. You got to be young. You got to be. And I guess the parents, of course, like you said, I don't know if you see parents pushing them. And you would know more than I, based on what you did once upon a time. Yeah, it's interesting. And I understand there's a process who gets picked for the WBC as far as the rosters go. So, although there seems to be a good mix, but I understand where you're coming from. Don't want another Matt Flynn, yeah. And that's the thing I worry about. Not to say he's going to end up like Matt Flynn, but yes, everybody's showing love to Val's mom. Yes, mom, she's at work. She'll be ready to be this afternoon. We'll go to a restaurant, eat cake. Yes, good for you, Val. Awesome. She'll be happy to see you have her day. Yes. Love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. All the love. Yep, she will. The wave for Val. J-Rod, 55 today. Shout out. Kudos. Greetings. 55 today here, this time of year. Yeah, I know. 55 does feel like 70, especially in the Midwest or Northeast for that matters. Love everyone besides Fishing Angel. Oh, no, she did. Oh, geez. Fishing Angel, what does she do now? Oh, so I knew a player that was cut yesterday. I'm guessing he ends it. Starter. Oh, all right. You knew of a player that was cut. Ends it, meaning he retires. Yeah, what did I see yesterday? If I go to the NFL stuff. I know whatchamacallit from the Drew Dahlman from the Bears said, I'm hanging it up. And yeah, here it is. Chief Shade McDuffie. Oh, here we go. Cardinals Panthers are your Hall of Fame game. Oh, geez. Snooze fest. But yeah, Drew Dahlman retiring at 27. And good for him. NFL's rough. Yeah, I'm trying to track. Yeah, I can't seem to find. Hold on. NFL, where is happening? Yeah, if I NFL.com, yeah, sometimes they get lost in the sauce with this stuff. You got to go like bounce around. Would it be? Yeah, we didn't get cut. He just didn't get tagged. Trey Hendrickson? Would that be it, Boana? I don't know. Interesting. All right, so now let me get back to these comments so I can catch them and get to a couple other things. Over under for the Mets. Zip. If I had to guess, what is their number? 87.5? I'm going to guess that's the number. Yeah, I don't think they're 90. Mets over under. And I'll do my over under win totals. As a matter of fact, 3 weeks from today, tip in my hand here, people, I'll do my baseball preview. Wait a minute. The Mets over under is 90.5. Let me look at a couple of FanDuel. I hate to look at these sports books, but Mets. Oh, that's if you bet at 80, 90. Okay, I don't care. I'm not betting. I just give me the number. I don't want to see Vegas Insider. They're usually pretty accurate. Yeah, that number's 90.5. Ooh. I'm going to say under. And not going to be under by much, though. I could see them between 86 and 90, which is terrible. I mean, for the payroll, and you know what? I will say this about the Mets this year. I would not be surprised if they have a big year, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they go over 9.5. But you know me, as a Met fan, my gut, nope. In immortal words, Chuck D, Public Enemy, can't trust it. I just cannot. But I can see it with all the changes, and I understand. Oh, you hear these early reports about Bo Bichette, third base, and you watch the videos, and I get it. It's just practice fields, etc. But David Stearns can't pull the wool over the good Met fans' eyes, as you well know, Zip. But, I want to get better defensively, and you're going to put Bo Bichette at third and Hoy Polanco at first? Oh, my goodness. That's why I don't think I don't know. We shall see. I'm going to say under, though, but not much. I can see them winning 88. I can see them even winning 89. And remember, that number is 90.5. If they win 90, that means if you took the under and they hit 90, you win. So, when the Citi Field Met fans cheered for Vladdy last year, maybe. I remember that opening day. Yes. Good one there, Fuqua. Probably did, because then soon thereafter they signed him. It wasn't that they signed him for $500 million in July. It was maybe a couple of weeks, if that. And I remember I was out at Citi Field. As you could go back, if you want to go back, on the channel when I went out to Citi Field. I interviewed a few Blue Jay fans, and they were actually pretty confident that they were going to sign him, and they were right. Love the Rams trade. Been hearing they're thinking of taking another wide receiver with that. Really? Wouldn't you take offensive line considering that Rob Haverstein retired? I would think they would. Because remember, Stafford is not fleet of foot. So unless you have somebody that's a backup that's going to fill in a spot, I would go O-line. Because your defense, obviously now you bring McDuffie in the mix. It's excellent. Here we go, Buana. Would I make a top 5, 10, depending on position, for your player? Oh, you got to go? Oh, sorry to hear that, Buana. So I don't even know if you're going to be around for me to answer this. I hope you come back. Would I make a top 5, 10, depending on position, for my NFL player draft? Top 5, 10. Well, depending on positions. Well, we all know the quarterback is the most valuable. And Mendoza's going number 1. Jets. I mean, the Jets need everything. Need a pass rusher. They just traded Jermaine Johnson away. They have a receiver. They could use tight end. They have whatchamacallit as their tight end. Who isn't bad. Yeah, I got to go through the top 10. I know he's not here, but I'll answer that. I'll even look. 2026. Because you already know the NFL mock drafts. Everybody's into that right now. Well, maybe not right now, but, you know. Yeah, Jets. Oh, yeah, the edge rusher from Ohio State. I know that defensive back's going to go. Wow, 3 of the first 4 picks that this mock draft has edge rushers, which I get it. They don't grow on trees. Sonny Styles is another guy, but that's not the guy I'm referring to. Caleb Downs is the guy, the safety. Wow, that would be 3 Ohio State guys in the first 7 picks based on this. Saints Jeremiah Love. Cardinal Tate. 4 of the top 9 Ohio State. And Sword Delane. Who are the Steelers, Trey? Let's see. Yeah, based on this mock draft, the 13th, they have them selecting bio Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon. Steelers are what, 21, right? Who would they draft? Jordan Tyson, a wide receiver. Yeah. He's dealt with nagging injuries, never played a full season in college. Yeah, but you know what? I wouldn't go O-line. You're gonna draft. I mean, the Steelers are great for drafting receivers in lower rounds. Like, why would they spend their first round pick on a wide receiver? I mean, think about the Steelers and they draft it real quick. I don't want to bore you with this, but the Steelers would in the last 15 years, Antonio Brown was a 6th round pick. Emmanuel Sanders, I believe, was a 5th round pick, or maybe 3rd round. You had George Pickens was a second-round pick. Chase Claypool, second-round pick. I know Claypool didn't amount to anything, although he had talent, but I guess between the ears. And Pickens is between the ears, and obviously he's franchised. Steelers. Calvin Austin the third. Currently, I think he was a third-round pick. I mean, those guys grow on trees. Grizzlies are signing two-way forward. All right, so look at that. Don't have to worry about him. The Grizzlies are playing in Brooklyn tonight. So on next, Fishing Angel. Oh no, he pissed. Wait, I thought J-Rod said that you pissed him off. Fishing Angel, I love it. Hello, everyone. Yes. Dominican Republic played the Tigers yesterday and killed the Tigers. Oh, is that? Oh, they played the Tigers. Oh, I didn't know that. Jeez. 12-4. I know Soto hit a home run. Panama's playing the Tigers? Ah, okay. Yes, Rich Bisaccia, Clemson. He's the special teams coach. Do the Lions go after someone now with the draft capital that they just got from the Montgomery trade? Now, when you say go after now, you're talking about a trade. Yeah, because obviously, whatever deals that they make, just like the Montgomery trade, is not going to be official until next week. Now, they need O-line in the worst way. I mean, other than Penei Sewell, you had, what's his name, retire. I know Ragnow came back last year, and he stepped down. Yeah, I would think O-line. I mean, I'm sure you're going to do whatever it takes. But I don't know if they will. I'm sure they're going to wait to see what the landscape is. And yeah, who are the top free agents? Let's see. Top NFL free agents. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, Tyler Limbaugh, the center from the Ravens. Jalen Phillips. What about Jalen Phillips? There, Jay. Former Dolphin and Eagle. Bookend him with Hutchinson. Alec Pierce is number 4? No, I wouldn't think that's too high. Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle. Braden Smith, offensive tackle. Yeah, this list is slim pickings. I know you're going to have Kenneth Walker if anybody wants a running back. Mike Evans. Oh, Isaiah Likely. Look at that. Romeo Dobbs. Yeah, Kyler Murray, no thanks. Khalil Mack, long in the tooth. Travis Etienne Jr. Oh, he's a free agent already? Wow. Brian Cook. Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, that I knew. Yeah, I'm not in love with this free agent class. Reed Blankenship. Nashawn Wright. Wandale Robertson. Joel Batonio. Batonio's long in the tooth. Yeah, Cam Curl. Yep, there he is. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good small little players that are out there that you could get, but yeah, I am not in love with this. I mean, not that you expect it to be stacked, but all right. So yeah, that's what you have with the draft. Will Smith, yes. Absolutely, Val. You like doing mock drafts? Yeah, I remember doing them a long time ago, and then I stopped, and it was just like, ah. But no, I hear you. No, it definitely could be fun. Ohio State's losing. They still have number one. Really? I know. Think 4 of their first 9 players based on this mock draft are gone, which is nuts. But wait, to go back to that. Yeah, how are they still number 1? Yeah, that surprised me. Oh, is that right? Fast time ever by tight end. I didn't know that. Thank you for that bio. What was this about Draymond Val? Oh, his birthday. Yeah. He's not my favorite since he fights with players. Yeah. I know. You and a lot of other people wish you would change too there, Val. Bio, you do end up coming out. Oh, yes. I know. J Rod brought that up to me, but it's tough. I know it's Thanksgiving that week or the following week. Just can't play basketball, but he loves yelling. Right? Yeah, he does do that. Yep, he did get released. Oh, here we go. No, I didn't hear that. Johan Rojas. Yeah, isn't he the center fielder? Yeah, I think he plays center. Yep, there it is. 80-game suspension. Yeah, I mean, he's. Yeah, I don't know what. Why a guy? I get it. They're trying to get an advantage, whatever. But I mean, come on, guys. You gotta do better. This is what I don't understand about the Major League Baseball player, which infuriates me as a lifelong fan. I get it that there's a lot of ways you could beat the system. I get it that there's so many ways to try to get around something. But how could you work on something literally your entire life and you're willing to throw it away based on performance enhancing drugs? I mean, make that make sense. How? Look at, we talked about it yesterday. Jurickson Profar, thanks to Fuqua. And he got his second ban. One more time, he's done. He's toast. He's missing this year. How? The math doesn't math. It's not mathing. How does one do that? And it was similar to what I talked about last year with the whole Emmanuel Clase throwing pitches and all that. I mean, he throws pitches for a living, but throwing balls with the whole in-game gambling nonsense. Guys, I mean, seriously? And I want to hear, I didn't know. I'm sure they get the list. They know what they can and can't take. And I don't get it. J-Rod, I don't care if it's two. Wow. So you'd be willing to do that? Yeah, I mean, then you have to pay him, but that would be killer. Are the Phillies the homes for horse juicers? That's true. Yeah, Alvarado last year, Max Kepler. Let's see, anybody else? No, I think that's it. I wish I could. Oh, nice gymnastics. I understand. I get we have kids too. They're older. Yeah. No, 100%. All right, listen, I finally caught up on the comments. All right, guys. Let me pivot here. I know we've been talking about this. So the NFL cutting season ahead of the new season next Wednesday. I don't know how much else I could touch on this. We talked about the big trade there with Trent McDuffie going to the Rams. Kyler Murray gets cut. Mekhi Becton. Trey Hendrickson, he didn't get cut, but yeah, they're not going to franchise him, meaning that he's going to be a free agent. We just went over the free agent class. Not much to really write home about. Now, it's not including Kirk Cousins because he's going to be released next week, but he's a guy that you also got to throw in the mix there too. So yeah, NFL reigns supreme. Out here, not caring. And didn't they put up, hold on. Did they put up another game? No, they did not. Well, yeah, I know about who cares about the Hall of Fame game? Yeah, who's going to play in Milan next year? No, not Milan. Is it Madrid? I think it's Madrid. Which team? I saw that there yesterday. Where, they're going to continue to announce these games, and it's just, it's gross. I repeat, I am not a fan of the international games. Yeah, I'd have to scroll all the way down because with Adam Schefter and his comments, forget about it. Yeah, Brees Hall. Mike Evans, yeah, we know. Yeah, all right. I'm not going to scroll all the way down for this. But anyway, as far as the NFL goes, you know what the deal is. And yeah, I expect a lot of activity next week. And it should be crazy, usually those first 2 or 3 days. And they're going to announce some of these signings the day before. So this coming Tuesday, I'm sure you're going to hear so-and-so's going there. Oh, this person or this team signed this player, or player X is going to his new destination here. So, yeah, it's going to be nuts those few days next week, and we'll see how that shakes down as we get closer. But other than that, yeah, obviously we've covered a lot of the NFL stuff. All right, I'm going to move on. NBA and college basketball, relatively quiet. I know the Spurs got back on the beam there last night and just eviscerated the Sixers. And, yeah, that was an embarrassment. But other than that, yeah, NBA. I mean, yeah, please. JJ Redick calls his sideline sit with Luka very normal. I mean, we know about Trae Young getting ejected from the Wizards bench a couple nights ago. Yeah, although you have a good game tonight, OKC in town to play the Knicks. Little NBA Finals preview. It's a stretch, but hey, you can have some fun with it here in the early part of March. Yeah, so NBA low-key and college right now. I know Kansas lost yesterday to Arizona State. But, yeah, I listen. You got nothing else to really chew on with college basketball. No big upsets other than Kansas losing. And we're all just trying to get through this week into next week. Maybe some teams that are on the bubble make a run there for a conference championship. And then once we get to Selection Sunday, then it's on. But, yeah, even college has been low-key. All right, let me get to this, people, because I know this is going to rankle some feathers, but I don't care. Nope, I don't want that tab. Here we go. So now you have these two things. Number one, not many big moves. I know Edmonton brings in a defenseman, and they're going to need more than that. There are rumors now that the Panthers could be willing to trade their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky, which that would be big-time news. They'll show you that the Panthers are throwing in the towel. And I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. That's not going on a limb right now, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. They're falling too far behind. Did they beat the Devils yesterday? That I should know. But when you have the NHL and the deadline, we're going to see what reinforcements are going to be brought in to teams that are trying to get themselves into the postseason, or they already know they're going to be a playoff team and what they're going to do to get themselves to a cup final and so on. But no, I won last night. Hold on. Yeah, last night. Oh, Florida got destroyed. 5-1. Yeah, they are. Yeah, the season's done. They are done. No shock there. But with the deadline, you wonder which team's going to make big trades. And to me, those teams that are going to be on notice are the teams that are trying to better themselves to get into the postseason, i.e. San Jose. The Islanders, will they make a trade? Talked about them on Monday being a big surprise. That we'll see. And there's some other teams that maybe are looking to get to that next level, whether it's the Stars, who they're playing just tremendously right now and trying to pose a threat to the Colorado Avalanche. But to me, this is even the bigger thing, and I haven't heard anyone talk about this. If you don't know who Gavin McKenna is, he will be the consensus number one pick in the NHL draft this year. And there always been talk about this guy being another generational player, similar to what we've seen here recently, whether your name is Connor Bedard, whether your name is Macklin Celebrini. I didn't hear the term generational talent or franchise star with Matthew Schaefer, but he is certainly becoming that, as I talked about on Monday's podcast. You have to go back and check that out if you can. It's on the channel. Please do. But McKenna, who's playing at Penn State and actually got into a bit of trouble there a couple months ago to where he has been found not guilty pretty much of pushing some people and nothing, thankfully, serious to him or to what he did to other people, got dismissed, etc. But this guy could be, I'm not saying he's going to be, but could be another one in line as far as these bright young number one overall talents. I mean, think about it. You had, as I mentioned, Bedard, Celebrini, and Schaefer these last 3 years, and all three of these guys have been studs. I understand with Schaefer, you still got to see a little bit more, but what you've seen so far, how can you not like? So as far as the tree still going with 13, 14, 15, and now, or excuse me, 13. Start over. 23, 24, 25, and 26. Does McKenna also fill that out? And listen, you got the Vancouver Canucks. I understand they're a bad team, and they traded Quinn Hughes a couple of months back to Minnesota. Do you know that the Canucks have lost 22 of their last 25 games? I know they're bad, but are they this bad? And then you have the Rangers, who have fallen off a cliff. And up until about the start of the year, yeah, there was scuffling, whatever, but now they've hit a tailspin to where I believe, if I do my math correctly, because I was tallying it before, and I think I still have the page up, so let me just bear with me for a second. But when I counted the amount of losses that they've had, and I understand they traded away Artemi Panarin, they're looking to see if they could trade away JT Miller, who I left the game yesterday against Columbus with an upper body injury, so who knows what's going to happen with that. Vincent Trocheck, Igor Shesterkin, the goaltender. A lot of guys can be paired off here, but the Rangers, they had lost maybe not 22 or 25, but I believe, this off the top of my head, they had lost, I think, 16 of 19, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go back. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 5. 1, 2, 3, that's 1 and 8. 2 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 and 13. 3 and 13. They have lost 14 of their last 17 games. I mean, this team's going nowhere fast. I mean, prior to that, they were okay. They were middle of the pack in the Metropolitan Division. But for all the stuff in the NBA, and I understand it's not part of the NHL culture to have teams tank or to rest players or to have a situation where it's all about the day-to-day and the load management. You're not going to see that with the NHL player, but those two teams I'm picking on in particular, for them to just pretty much tank their seasons now, and we understand it's a lottery. And I hope the Rangers don't get it. They got the number one pick in 2020 when they got Alexis Lafreniere. And let's face it, he has turned out to be a good player, certainly not a generational player and not even a franchise player. Whereas what we've seen here recently, I beg to differ. But not a lot of talk about that. And I'm not knocking the NHL player, their system, the culture, none of it. But those two teams in particular, 22 of 25 and 14 of 17. And the Rangers, I mean, they have stars everywhere. From, and I know he's been hurt, the Andy Fox of the world, but from Trocheck, who was a big-time free agent signing. Panarin, I understand he's going into the last year of a contract, but big-time free agent signing. JT Miller, if they can unload him, they definitely will. But he has this upper body injury. Who knows what his status is going to be moving forward or whether or not he's damaged goods. So, yeah. Can't tell me otherwise. So that's how I look at it with the NHL. And let me just see. Yeah, I'll get to the comments in a moment. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? NHL. No, that's all I got there. And then NHL. Yeah, no other trades have been made. Nothing of note. All right, so that's going to – I think I may have one more thing to talk about. Do I or do I not? No, I'll look at the comments. Yeah, because that was it. That covered everything. Hold on one second, people. Let me. Oh, here we go. You ready for this? MLB ranked 2026. Who are the best 100 players in baseball right now? I mean, does anybody care who's like the 94th best player in baseball? All right. Well, before I even scroll, I was about to scroll down to see my top 10. If I had to guess who the top 10 are, now they're probably going to include pitchers here. Otani's going to be 1, Judge 2, not including a pitcher, though. Jeez. Oh, they can put Soto. Soto's probably going to be a top 5. I'm going to say Soto 5. They're probably going to put Skeens 3. He's coming off of Cy Young. He's young. What is he, 24 years of age? I'll say Skeens 3. I'll just do the top 5. I'll say Soto 5. Who's 4? They may put Soto 4. I'm going to say Soto 5. Or even it doesn't matter. If you have 4 or 5, who's that last guy? Jose Ramirez. The guy puts up MVP numbers every year. They may say Cal Raleigh after 1 year. I wouldn't put him there, but you know what? Maybe to put Scooble there. He's won 2 Cy Youngs. You got to put 2 pitchers in the top 5. I don't know. Let's see. All right. Yeah, Otani 1, shocker. Judge 2. Oh, Bobby Wood Jr. they put 3rd. Scooble 4th. Soto 5th. All right. And Skeen 6th. All right, so it wasn't off. Wow, they put Witt 3rd. Yeah, because they're factoring in war and all this nonsense, which I can't stand. And he had a down year last year. 2 years ago, he was runner-up to Judge in the MVP. All right, the rest of the top 10, let me see. Skeens. So then 7. Yeah, probably say Raleigh. Ronald Acuna Jr., would you put him on there? Nah, he's got so many injuries. Maybe 10th, if I had to say. Is there another pitcher in there that I'm missing? All right, so let me see. Raleigh. I got Scene 6. All right, so Raleigh. Julio Rodriguez. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 10th also. Let's see. I don't want to spend too much time trying to figure this out. Oh, Raleigh 7th. Oh, Garrett Crochet 8th. Julio Rodriguez 9th. And Acuna 10th. There you go. That sounds about right. Then Vladdy 11. Yeah, I should have thought Vladdy. Jose Ramirez 12. Gunnar Henderson. Fernando Tatis Jr., who I did think of, but yeah, his shine is waned a little bit. Yamamoto. Corbin Carroll 18th. Wow. Christopher Sanchez 19th. Interesting. All right. So those are your top 5. I don't know what you guys think about that, but let's see. Buana, I'm glad you're back. I know I kind of went through I'm missing up on all these comments here. Hold on, guys. J-Rod, when does the UFL start? Yeah, either later this month or sometimes or maybe in April. Not on top of the UFL, that's for sure. Oh, thank you, Fish Angel, as always. Much appreciated. Lions better catch a break this season and get from last season. Yeah, they had a rough schedule. And I picked them as an over, too, and they faltered down the stretch. The number was 10.5. And I know it was a tough schedule. Does Michigan lose some ground on Selection Sunday? No, they'll be a 1 seed. But my thing is, will they be number 1 overall? Duke will have to lose again, I think, if that's going to happen. But they'll have a 1 seed without fail. Buana shows how little I know of hockey, but I love the postseason. Oh, yeah, no. Nothing like the postseason hockey. I remember when my team had top 100 players. Your team? Who's your team? Team had top 100 players. Something tells you you're going to say Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, because you can go back to that. What was it? That 86 Edmonton Oiler, or the 86 team, which they did not win a cup. But in the All-Star game, they had, count them, 9 All-Stars. If I had to guess all 9, Gretzky, Curry, Messier, Anderson, Kevin Lowe, Grant Fuhr, Paul Coffey. Charlie Huddy? That's 8. Did I say Kevin Lowe? Gretzky, Curry, Messier, Anderson. Wait, Gretzky, Curry, Messier, Anderson, Lowe. Who's the goal? Grant Fuhr. Paul Coffey. I should put Coffey in the top 5. I said Huddy. Let me see. So 90s. Oh, the Rockies. Oh, the Rockies. Oh, no, the Rockies run was 07. Yeah, when they went, what, like 22-1 to get to the World Series, and then we know what happened after that. Who are the 9 Oilers? Yeah, I'm missing 2 guys. Nah. And 1986. Lee Fogelin. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Curry, Gretzky, Curry, Coffey, Messier, Anderson, Fuhr, Moog, Lowe, and Lee Fogelin. They had all those All-Stars on one team. I mean, that's how loaded they were. Yes, you too, Fishing Angel. Enjoy. Be safe out there. But, Buwan, I want to know, you remember when your team had top 100 players? Which sport are you referring to? And I'm curious, which players? Yes, Rocktober. J-Rod. I remember a few times being in. Oh, my God. Now, what were you in there for? Not running onto the field. Nothing crazy like that, huh? J-Rod. All right, let's see what else we got. What was I talking about with tanking? Source, streaking Dallas Stars get Vancouver Canucks defenseman Tyler Myers for draft picks. And listen, nobody's going to look at Tyler Myers as Cale Makar. His numbers are paltry. And he's 36 years of age. 57 games, 1 goal, 8 points, but it's a veteran leadership. And he's 6'8", stay-at-home defenseman. Understood. But yeah. Vancouver, unloading. Let's see. Oh, Yankees played the Red Sox today. Or at least in one of the games. Yeah, so that's that's about it. I'm just trying to find if there's anything else here. No, that covers it, yeah. Yeah, those best 100 players things, I like that stuff. Because it's easy to debate, go back and forth, etc. But you know what? Who's number 100? The 100th best player in baseball. And I'm sure I could find players that belong and not. They have Nolan McLean as 100th. I mean, come on. Suarez, World of Chapman, say Suzuki. All right. Yeah, I know. I'm just reading this off. Okay. Yeah, I know. They go through all these lineups and all these numbers. Jeez. All right. Let's get back to it here. What we got? Comments. Juan, what is happening? Oh, being drunk and stupid? Yeah, acting up. I get it. We got take matters to sense of humor now and times it by 50 by 12. Oh, I can imagine. All right. Buana. I'm thinking of, Larry Walker, Dante Bichette. Yep. Yeah, Denny Nagel. Yeah, Mike Hampton. The reason why he left the Mets to go to Colorado because of the school system 2 years after what happened in Columbine. I know that's what the Met fan teases him all about to this day. And once he left the Mets, he wasn't the same anyway. Or guys always viewed as top 100 when they played. Yeah, Walker, former MVP. Bichette was very good offensive player. Todd Helton, Hall of Famer. Not in my eyes, but Mike Hampton, Denny Nagel. No, listen, that team had a magical run. And the crazy thing was, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Rockies, and you would be able to answer this, Buana, didn't the Rockies trail by 4.5 games with 9 to go? And then they had that one-game playoff against the Padres, and they beat them on a walk-off run, which they thought the batter was out, or not the batter, the runner was out at the plate. Yeah, Rockies went on that sick run. Let me see. How far? Oh, that didn't go through. How far were the Rockies behind? Let's start there. The Rockies, 2007 regular season, blah, blah, blah. It's the 18. Yeah, right. Yeah, there was just the 18 since the Second World War to start the season 13-1. Yeah, it's not really. Hold on. Yeah, so if they 13-1. Yeah, but they ended, I think they won 22 of 20 or 21 of 22. Yeah, because they swept the Phillies and they swept the Diamondbacks. And oh my God, that was, I'll never forget when that series came out. And Arizona, Colorado, NLCS. Woo. That's as boring as it gets. I don't know what to say. That is just, that's dumb luck. That's what that is. All right, let me get back to the comments. Yeah, bio. Yeah, Vinny Castilla was juiced up. Do you know he has a weird stat, Vinny Castilla? And I don't think, you talk about weird. And there's a lot of weird ones in baseball, as you well know. And I think it's in all three categories. Do you know that Vinny Castilla in back-to-back years for the Rockies had the same amount of home runs, RBIs, and batting average? How many people knew that? Maybe I'm off with the average. Maybe. But I believe it's accurate. Ready? Pull it up. Yep. I remember that. 96 and 97. This is, I mean, yeah, how the hell did this happen? In 1996, Vinny Castilla, 160 games. He had, I was to see if he had the same amount of runs scored. He was off by 3. 97 runs scored, 191 hits, 40 homers, 113 RBIs, batted .304. In 97, he had 94 runs scored, 186 hits, 40 homers, 113 RBIs, batted .304. I mean, you can't make that up. That's why baseball is so special, man. When you think about their records and you think about what happens. I don't know if you saw in college baseball a few weeks ago. Wasn't there a kid that hit 3 grand slams in one game? 3. Baseball hasn't had that, but what baseball has had was a player hit 2 grand slams in one inning. Now, you have a better chance of throwing a perfect game than a guy hitting 2 grand slams in one inning. And I hate to bring this up. This is bio probably like, oh, I remember who that was. Fernando Tatis when he was with the Cardinals. He did it at Dodger Stadium. I mean, think about that. To be so lucky to bat up twice in the same inning with the bases loaded and hit grand slams. I mean, that is just nuts. And then this stat with Castilla. Back-to-back years, 40, 113, and batted 304. In his lifetime numbers, he was 320, 1105, 276 lifetime. Because people say, oh, is he a Hall of Famer? Oh, please. What was he, an MVP? He's never an MVP, but as far as top whatever, it doesn't even say. Black type once. He led in RBIs in 2004. But again, Coors Field. All right, I'm scrolling back. Buana, I got you. Let's see. J-Rod, nothing to be proud of. You live in yes, those days. I got you. It was an amazing run lasting a month. Oh, yeah. I remember it well. Watching live after never believing was fun. Oh, well, that's the beauty of being a sports fan. Now, I understand you fell short. You went up against a Red Sox team that was very hot. I remember Jacoby Ellsbury had a killer series. What did he bat in that series? Jacoby Ellsbury. Yeah, I mean, he was unconscious. But who won the MVP? Was it Mike Lowell? I think Mike Lowell won that. Jacoby Ellsbury, playoffs. He batted in that World Series. Wait a second. 2007, all right. Yeah, he was 9 for 25. I mean, 360 is still very good. I thought he had more hits than that. $2013. No, that's wrong too. No, that's the entire postseason, right? Yeah. Yeah, because 2013, David Ortiz won the MVP. He batted like 600 or some ridiculous number. Yeah, Mike Lowell, I know, was the MVP of that. Let's look that up. Sorry, I know I'm bringing up bad memories, Juan. I know I have a tendency of doing that, but trust me, if my teams are bad and they play poor, Bio, J-Rod, everybody can vouch. I kill my players and my teams just as bad, if not more. Yeah, Lowell was... No, he didn't have that many. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm seeing numbers that are just like 18 for... No. He didn't have 18 hits in the World Series. Wait a second. Playoffs. Here we go. Yeah, why? This is a typo. Oh, the 14 games overall. No, I want the World Series. I want to know what he did in the World Series. Why can't I have this broken down? All right, let's do the math. Ready? Lowell 3 for 6. What were the games in the scores of these games? 13-1, 2-1, 10-5, 4-3. All right. Daisuke Matsuzaka. Oh, that's a name. Actually pitched for the Mets, too. Vinny Castillo was juiced up crazy. Galarraga, too. Yeah, listen, you hit all those home runs the way he did. Forget it. Does Emmanuel Clase get to play basketball this year? He may end up playing basketball because baseball, he's going to be out of a job. No, I got you, J-Rod. Yeah, I doubt it. Here's a name for you, which I know Bio will probably fall out of his chair. Now, I understand for a much different, and not to say that Clase was accused because it looks like what he did last year. Whatever happened to Julio Urias or Urias? I know he had the allegations of domestic violence. That's why you haven't seen him. But man, there's a guy that, what is he up to these days? In Chan-Ho Park, yes. Fernando Status Jr., yeah. Chan-Ho Park, number 61. I remember him well. Talking about juice players, how... Yes. Didn't he save like 84 straight games? Had the goggles, the long hair in the back, the beard. He was very good too, though. And yeah, it was juiced up. I think he saved like 84 in a row. Yeah, let's look up Eric Gagne. Let's have some fun here. That's a good one there, Bio. Yeah, where is he? Maybe I can look him up. Could you be a guest on this podcast? You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to look him up. Regular season, 55 saves that 1 year in 03. I mean, look at these numbers. Was he not Cy Young that year? Why is this cut off? I should be able to see this whole thing. Oh, switch to widescreen view. I didn't realize that. Okay, my apologies. Yep, that was the year he won the Cy Young. He was 2-3, 55 saves. How many blown saves, though? Look at these numbers. I mean, he had 82 and a third innings pitched. He gave up 37 hits. Now, he walked 20, but his whip was still great. His whip was 0.6. And how many guys did he strike out in 82 and a third inning? 137. I guess the juice was that good. Yeah, and then after, like, he fell off a cliff after that. No, I mean, he pitched well the following year, 45 saves. And then in 05, yeah, then after that, he went to the Red Sox. Yeah. But no, for that brief time, though, Bio, you're right. He was no joke. Yep, 2 years, 84 consecutive. My man. He was. And yes, he was a hockey player first. Absolutely, Montreal. Shoot, Bio's on top of it. My Kooks are all on top of it here. Yeah, Dodgers. I know that was that 1 year. No, was the year that Beltre, maybe that was 05. The year that he hit 49 home runs, and that was his last year. That was his walk year. Then he went to Texas. Let's look up Beltre. Oh, maybe that was 04. Oh, he hit 48 home runs. 04 it was. So after the year he had the 55 saves. Yeah, Beltre, and he was 25. Think about this. 25 years old, 2004. Monster year. 48, 121. He batted 334. And, well, let me scroll. I just want to confirm one thing. He was second in the MVP. Who was the MVP that year in 04? National League, let me think. I know A-Rod was in the American League. It was his first year in the Yankees. 04 National League. Watch Bio pull it up. He'll be like, oh, yeah, that was so-and-so. Went to the World Series in 04. Cardinals. Oh, it had to be Pujols then. Oh, it was Bonds. Look at that. Pujols was third. Yeah, Bonds. Look at these numbers. 45, 101. Got walked 232 times. Batted 362. His on base was over 60%. His slugging was, I mean, come on. Jeez. Those numbers are redonkulous. But as I was saying with Beltre, 25 years old, and I don't know what kind of contract he had after that year. If that happened in this day and age, he'd be $500 million in his sleep. And mind you, his production before that was pedestrian. His batting average was good. 275, 290. Now that I think about it, I was reading the wrong thing. His batting average was okay. 275, 290, 265, 257, 240. Then that walk year, 48, 121, 334, 100 runs scored, 200 hits. And then after that, 1987, 255, 2589, 268, 2699, 276, 2577, 266. Then he was hurt in Seattle his last year. 844, 265. He went to Boston for that 1 year, had a very good year. Led in doubles, 28, 102, 321. Now, listen, we know he's a Hall of Famer because he has over 3,000 hits. But when you look at these numbers, when you put them together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now he played 21 years. I hate to say it. Now he's a Hall of Famer, but he's a compiler. People may get mad at that, but again, he's got better numbers than Craig Biggio, but he's a compiler. Some black type, not a lot. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5. He hit 30 home runs or more. 30. I'm going to go with 30, not even 40. Because 40, he only did it that 1 year where he hit 48. He hit 30 more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And you want to say batting average? To me, I look at 300 years too. 334, 301, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And we know he won a bunch of Gold Gloves. He was great defensively, that we know. Yeah, I always like to use Albert Bell, man. Albert Bell to me is the guy. Reed, my man. Yeah, I'm going to watch some of it. I talked about that a lot in the beginning of this live stream, if you want to go back and check it out. Yeah, I'm going to watch some of it. Now, I'm going to watch every inning, or I'm going to be pins and needles. Oh, 7 o'clock, I got to watch USA versus whomever. No, but yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. Bonds is still your GOAT. Listen, was Bonds the best player I've ever seen? Listen, he's up there. I mean, if you're taking steroid guys into account, I have to say yes. Best hitter I've ever seen, pure hitter, is Tony Gwynn. I love Manny Ramirez too, but again, steroid guy. Ken Griffey Jr. all around. I love him. If I'm taking steroids out of it, to me, that's the best. And listen, I'm going back now. Mike Schmidt, who was great defensively at third base. And Schmidt, I got to see more from a boy up until the 80s. But no, I watched Schmidt. He was great too, though. Jeez. I mean, listen, Bonds is up there. But again, I got to put that with an asterisk. Got to. What do you got, Bio? Hold on. Bio, those were the seasons where Paul LaDuca was passing out. Yeah. And then he went to the Mets, too, for those 2 years. Val, welcome back. Yeah, Tony Gwynn was the best hitter I ever saw, without question. Rod Carew. Now, I saw more Rod Carew late. Not Twins Carew. I'm more so Angels Carew. And Rod Carew was the type of guy, I'm sure if you've heard stories, I think, was Ken Kaiser the former, or Rich Garcia, the former umpire? And remember, the umpires back then in those days, you had American League umpires and National League umpires, which I liked. And then they all became one, which, But he was the type of guy, as the pitch was coming, he would tell you where he was going to hit it. Rod Carew. Which is nuts. That's how great of a hitter he was. But Gwynn, I mean, please. Gwynn, I think was what? 7-time batting champ, but Rod Carew was an 8-time batting champ. Let's go Rod Carew first. Yeah, Rod Carew was, I mean, come on. Lifetime 328 hitter. And I want to say that was Tony Gwynn. He may be 325, 320, maybe even be 331. I mean, look at these numbers for Carew. He led in the hits 3 times, 203, 218, 239. Led in batting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7 times. I thought it was 8. Hold on. 1, 2, 7. 7-time batting champ. So maybe Gwynn is an 8-time batting champ. I mean, look at these numbers. 332. All right, 318. Still very good. 350, 364, 359, 388 in 77. 333. I mean, Carew is, forget it. And these are hitters. And this is the thing. The metrics people, they don't want to look at batting average anymore, which is nuts. Come on, man. What are you, crazy? Oh, we don't put the value in. Come on. Give me a guy that's going to bat 388. I'll take him over a guy that's going to hit 40 home runs, strike out 200 times, and bat 240. Stop. Yeah, I was wrong on Gwynn. I thought 328. Tony Gwynn lifetime, 338. Yeah, he led him batting 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And 88, he batted 313, which I guess that's the one low year that Carew had. I know we'll never know about 94. We'll never know. Led the league in hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Had over 200 hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Most he had in the season was 220. Batted 351, 370, 313, 336, 394. That was in 1994. 368, 353, 372. I mean, come on. Ooh, they don't make hitters like that anymore. They do not make hitters like that anymore. No, your team's not tanking there, Val. Absolutely not. I just said the Canucks and the Rangers. Those are the two teams I picked on. Especially the Canucks, they traded another player. Oh, VJ Edgecombe back ruled out tonight. 76ers, yes, they lost last night too. They didn't lose. They got bludgeoned by the Spurs. Let's see. Anything else happening in sports before I bid adieu? Because I caught you up on everything with the latest and greatest with everything that's happening in sports. Yeah, did you see this on ESPN about why Chauncey Billups could be facing decades with this gambling thing? Decades in jail. Or in prison, I should say. I didn't read this article, but again, goes back to what I was saying before with the Emmanuel Classes of the world and like why? He's facing money laundering conspiracy and wire fraud conspiracy charges, both which carry a maximum prison sentence of 20 years. I don't know, could he get that? He probably could, but he probably won't. Probably get like 8 to 10, if anything. And not that I know, but why? Why throw your whole career away? Could you imagine? That's like me trying to do what I'm doing now, and then all of a sudden I get this boatload of money that like comes out of nowhere, and the next thing you know, it's like, hey guys, this is my last show because I'm going to get locked up. You're going to be like, Jay Reels, what the hell are you doing? But I get it. People have weaknesses. People, whatever, you know. But again, Billups with that money laundering, I better be getting billions or $500 million. Not none of this. I mean, I don't know what it is. And even then, I don't know. I've said it before and I'm not going to. Anyway, people, I guess maybe that's, I shouldn't end it on that note. Maybe I should go back to it. Give me another hitter people want to talk about. Let's talk about Wade Boggs. That was in his era. I can't end on that note. And Boggs was his contemporary. Boggs lifetime 328. Led the league in hitting 5 times. And that was early on in his career. Mainly with the Red Sox. 4 years in the Yankees, and he won that World Series. Then he went to Tampa. Led the league in hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times on base because he walked like crazy. Here's the one thing you like about Boggs, and that's interesting. I'm going to compare him with Gwynn. Walks to strikeouts. And I don't think did he win an MVP? He may have won one. Or he may have come close. Let's see that. No, he never won an MVP. He was voted top 10 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but never higher than 4th. Hey, get this out of here. Yeah, you always let on base because of the walks. Here's the thing with Boggs. You ready for this? Listen to these numbers. And I'm just going to give you the Red Sox years, like the first 7 years. Because they were still great even after that. But first full season, 153 games. Walked 92 times, struck out 36 in 685 plate appearances. Next year, 89 walks, 44 strikeouts. Next year, 96 strikeouts, or 96 walks, 61 strikeouts. That's actually a little high. But check this out. 105 walks, led the league, 44 strikeouts. 105 walks, 48 strikeouts. And this was the one, I think it was fourth. No, he was sixth in the MVP. 125 walks, 34 strikeouts, and 719 appearances. Batted 366. On base was 476. I mean, that is just. I mean, who is this guy? And now Tony Gwynn. Because Gwynn didn't strike out a lot either. Yeah, Gwynn didn't walk as much because I guess he wanted to hit. Here's all you need to know. Here's his career. I should have matched it up. Jeez. Tony Gwynn, in his career, where he played 2,440 games, had over 10,000 plate appearances. He walked 790 times and struck out 434 times. And then Wade Boggs, let's just see. Wade Boggs walked, I mean, it's 2-1. Almost. Walked 1,412 times, struck out 745 times. So Gwynn, who still had a great eye, but always found a way to get the bat on the ball. And Gwynn, 790 walks. And this is all you need to know. How many plate appearances Tony Gwynn versus Greg Maddux? Do you know this stat? And then I'll leave you on that note. Tony Gwynn, who faced Greg Maddux a million times. I want to pull up his numbers, but I know this one number in particular. Oh, wait. Versus Greg Maddux. Hello. I mean, this is insane. Tony Gwynn batted. What is this? 415 to 429. What the hell does that mean? It's either 415 or 4. Oh, because they're saying, all right, I got it. Tony Gwynn had 107 plate appearances against Greg Maddux. He batted 429. And we know Greg Maddux is an all-timer. How many times did Greg Maddux strike out Tony Gwynn? 0. I guess that's a good way to land this plane. And before I do that, yeah, Boggs was great also. Great hitter. And one of the greats too, without question. I mean, 328 lifetime, come on. Was just watching highlights. Yeah, he was. And they had a great bench. He, Darryl Strawberry, Tim Raines. I mean, and I'll never forget. Here's one. I'll land it here too with this story. One of my dear friends in life, lifelong Yankee fan, great Yankee fan, honest, objective Yankee fan, John Irving. No, not the author. He was away in 96. He lived in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I was living in the Bronx. And I had the keys to his apartment. He wanted me to watch his apartment. He was gone for, I guess, 2 weeks at the time. And it was during the playoffs in 96 and during the World Series. And I left him the newspaper that Monday after Game 2 when the Braves shut out the Yankees 4-0 after they beat them in Game 1, 12-1. That was the game where Andrew Jones hit the 2 home runs as a 19-year-old. And you know me, being the lifelong Yankee hater that I am, and I know it's the Braves, and I still rooted for the Braves, even though I can't stand them, playing in the same division with the Mets, and how I wrote on the bottom of that newspaper, I said, 2 more wins for the Braves to win a World Series, and I put 3 axes, for the chop, and that was it. And I think to this day, he still saved that paper because we know what happened after that. And the Braves just gagged it, especially in that Game 4. They had a 6-0 lead in the 3rd inning. And thanks to Jim Leyritz, Mark Wohlers, thank you, in the 8th inning, tied the game with a 3-run homer. And then, by the way, who had the walk-off RBI? It wasn't a walk-off because the game was in Atlanta. It was in the top of maybe it was in the 10th. I know it was in extra innings. But who had the RBI that took the lead for the Yankees in the bottom or in the extra innings? Wade Boggs. Remember it like if it happened yesterday. All right, my good people, that'll do it. Another live stream just about in the books. But as you already know, tomorrow, you know the deal. 9:45 a.m. podcast pregame live. Get at me back and forth. I'll give you a little preview of what the podcast will be like. On top of, taking questions, whatever it may be. I loved the live the other day. That live was one of the better lives that I had because who was it? Buana, you were there. There was another gentleman in there that was asking me questions. He brought up the whole, do I think Bonds is a Hall of Famer or should he be in the Hall of Fame? He mentioned Pete Rose. He brought up a lot of baseball things. Damn it, I can't remember his name for the life of me right now. But Buana brought up some very good points, topics. If you're still here, Buana, I don't know if you are. But, yeah, and I would love lives that are like that. But 9:45 and the latest edition of the podcast coming at you 11 a.m. tomorrow. Definitely check that. Any last thoughts from the chat room? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Of course, I will answer any last-minute stuff. Listen, you know the same drill. To my regulars, they already know. And obviously, to everyone that stopped by, whether you're in and out, here for a few minutes, stood the whole time. If you stood the whole time, you know how much I appreciate you guys. And I know that's Bio and Val and J-Rod and Fishing Angel. Fishing Angel may have left. I know she said, I believe she said, have a great day, a great show, but whatever. But whether you do or do not know, people, you know the drill in the blood and the DNA talking sports since birth. Nothing like it. Nothing else I'd rather do. And, of course, as long as I sit in front of this camera and microphone, I promise to deliver nothing but passion, fire, energy, fury, my thoughts, opinions, critiques, praise, analysis, feelings on anything and everything that happens in the world of the diamond, ice, gridiron, hardwood, golf course, racetrack, tennis court, boxing ring, octagon, you name it. From my lips to your ears, from my heart to your soul, from where I am to wherever you are. The J-Reels live stream always comes live, correct, directed, in full effect. From the South Bronx, the South Beach, the South Central, the South Pacific, and all points beyond. Peace, love, and God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow, 9:45 a.m. Eastern, as well as 11 a.m. Eastern. On top of that, any last comments? I don't see any. So with that being said, people, until then, on the flip, baby.